Hey friends, I hope y'all are having a great day today. If you're new, my name is Alicia and today's video is a $10 grocery budget challenge where I made 21 meals or enough to feed one person breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 1 week. I shopped at Kroger and I did shop sales, so this meal plan isn't exactly someone that you could replicate exactly, but I still hope that it can give y'all some inspiration. I have done several in the past from like Walmart where it can be more easily replicated, or Dollar Tree, and I do plan to do more of those, but this one I decided to do at Kroger so you could see that sometimes you're able to get better deals if you shop sales. But in theory, this would have fed me for 1 week, but I have a family of 7, and whenever I was making these, they liked the looks of them, and so it was hard for me to be like, nope, this is all mine. So I did share, but I imagine nobody's gonna care, and if you do, I'm sorry. I'm sure you'll get over it. Anywho, if you or your family are struggling for food, please reach out to your local resources. I think you can call 211 and they'll give you a full list of resources available to you in your area if you live in the United States or in Canada. And also another thing you can do is go on Google or Facebook if you have it and type in your area plus like blessing box or food pantry, and sometimes more will show up than what it would have showed up maybe with the 211. I think you can also go to 211.org or .gov. But anyways, I hope y'all enjoy and let's get started. So this time I really tried to bring y'all along with me while I shopped a little bit so y'all could kind of get a view of my store. And I managed for a little while on the part of the store where it wasn't all too very busy, so a little bit of the produce section and this aisle, and then after that the store was way too busy. Alright, here is everything I got with my $10. You'll probably see a shadow because it's not the best lighting in here. I'm sorry. But anywho, we've got a box of Crunchy Taco Hamburger Helper, some cauliflower mac and cheese. You could also get plain mac and cheese if you wanted, but I chose the cauliflower one. And then we've got 1 pound of quick grits, a pound of spaghetti noodles, a package of Oreos, some flour tortillas, a 3-pound bag of cuties, 1 can of tuna, and 1 bell pepper, and I chose the yellow one. Instead of tuna, you could also get a can of peas or a can of vegetables. Those were the same price. But here is my receipt. So most everything was 99 cents each. The Oreos were $3.79, but because I'm on Kroger's mailing list, they send me coupons about once a month, sometimes more than once a month. And this time I had a coupon for free Oreos, so I decided to use it. But even if you take the Oreos out, it's still a pretty good amount of food, and it won't change any of the meals at all, obviously, because those you just eat as they are, most of the time at least. Some people make other things. Anywho, I'm gonna quit rambling. Oh, and the total after tax was $10.19. Tax was 27 cents, so it would have actually been under $10 by about 7 cents. So before we started the week off, I did want to go ahead and count how many cuties we have, and some of them look like they have some crazy spots in this lighting, but I promise all of these are fine. This right here is like some dry spots. I don't know what's going on with my lighting. Anywho, so there's 23 cuties here, which means that we can have 3 most days, and some days, like 2 days, we could have 4 cutie oranges. So I'm not going to give y'all a really long tutorial on how to make grits. I'm just going to tell y'all how I like to make mine, because it is different than what the package tells you or how the package tells you to prepare them. Anyways, I like to start off with 2 cups of cold water and then add a 1/4 cup of grits to the cold water. and then slowly bring that up to a boil. This is how many grits were left over after the full 7 days of making it, just like I'm telling you now. So you could probably get another week out of the bag almost, but the box tells you to do 3/4 of a cup of water to 3 tablespoons of grits. So I double the amount of water that it tells you to. The box also tells you to add the grits to boiling water versus adding them to the cold water, and I find it just likes to clump up. I also find that if I only do the amount of water that it suggests, they're still like pretty gritty, or like it's pretty hard in my opinion. I don't know how to explain it exactly, but I don't really like the texture. That's why I double the amount of water, and then I just let it thicken up. It will thicken up as it cools even more, and the longer you cook it, the thicker it will get. So it's all about personal preference. You might just have to play around with it and see how you like yours made. But I'm just showing you the box now, that way you can see how they suggest to prepare it and what they're saying a serving is and how many servings are in the box and all of that. I just like to add chicken bouillon powder to mine. I find that it adds a good flavor and it's quite delicious. If you add the chicken bouillon while it is boiling hot, then it will clump up on you. I usually will add it like at the beginning. That way it kind of all dissolves and it gets to cook in the flavoring, I guess. But on this day, for some reason, I didn't quite do that. So anyways, that's just how I like to make mine. I did take pictures most of the days that I had the grits, all but 2 of the days, which was one of the days I recorded and y'all just saw it. But each day, 2 cutie oranges with breakfast, which I think is a lot. I wasn't able to eat both oranges. For the lunches and dinners, you can kind of mix them up however you want. I'm just going to show you all of the options and y'all could decide where they should go. The mac and cheese that I'm making now is going to make 2 servings. So, you know, it could be 2 meals. One could be a lunch and one could be a dinner. They could both be lunches. They could both be dinners. It's just however you want to, you know, mix it up or picture it in your mind. But I just added the pasta and 2 cups of water, I think. It might have been 3 cups. I'll have everything in the description box for y'all. And then I added the cheese packet and the tuna with the water still in the can because it's going to add more flavor. And I cooked it in this, and you kind of need to add more water as needed. I just didn't want it to be soupy after it was done cooking. So y'all can pause it to see the nutrition info if y'all would like. It says that there is cauliflower in the pasta, so you kind of get like a serving of veggies per serving or something like that. I don't know, I like the sound of it, so that's the one I went with. You could also, instead of tuna, get a can of peas and add that in. So next, we're making the crunchy taco hamburger helper, and we're also going to be using the bell pepper and the tortillas. You could chop up the bell pepper and add it in while this cooks if you wanted, and that would be good too. But this is going to make 5 meals, so it could be 5 lunches, 5 dinners, or a mixture of the 2. And we're not going to use any meat or any milk or anything with this. We're just going to, instead of milk, add water. Of course, if you have milk, add that in. It suggests instead of meat to add a can of beans. And of course, if you have those, absolutely add those in. But I wanted to try and stick to just what I purchased as much as possible. With my next meal, you'll notice that I didn't quite do that. But anyways, so I didn't fully prepare this how you're supposed to, but that's why it looks kind of weird. I think you're supposed to use like a flatter bottom pan and it cooks better that way. I don't know. I also forgot the crunchy chips, so that would have made these a lot better. But I sliced the bell pepper in half from top to bottom, as you can see. And I'm making 2 stuffed peppers with it, but you could also chop it up and add it into the mixture if you wanted. I just didn't do that, and I made up all 10 of the tortillas, and then I'm spritzing them with oil, and I'm going to bake everything. My bell pepper got sat on the top shelf of the fridge, so that's why, I don't know if you can tell, but it looks kind of squishy on one side. But for 3 days, 2 burritos. For 2 days, a burrito and a pepper. Or you could have 4 days of 2 burritos, or 4 meals of 2 burritos, and 1 meal of just the 2 peppers. It's all up to you. So this is the meal that I was telling y'all I was using other things. I'm using things that I had in my fridge and my freezer for a while. And I really wanted to make a take on a carbonara, but we didn't have any more Parmesan. It had been used up, and I didn't realize it, and I really didn't want to go to the store just to get Parmesan, because I felt like that wouldn't really be, embracing this challenge. So I worked with a couple things that I had on hand. I've had those frozen carrots in my freezer forever. That celery was about to go out. That bacon had been in my fridge for a couple of days at that point. So I decided that I was just going to use those, and I worked with it, and I made up a soup. So, I really just want y'all to embrace what you have and work with what you have on hand. So I'm sauteing all of those things for a couple minutes. I did add some of those Campbell's flavor ups that my husband found at the Dollar Tree a little while back. And now I'm adding like 8 to 10 cups of water. Next, I'm going to add in some bouillon powder. You can season this up however you want. And if you do have like shaky cheese on hand or Parmesan cheese on hand, then you would just cook your pasta in water and reserve the water. If you have eggs, that's great. If not, you can just slowly add in the Parmesan and the hot pasta water and just keep stirring it around until it turns into like a creamy broth, and season it with whatever you have on hand. But anyways, after I add the bouillon powder, I'm going to kind of break my noodles in half and add those in and just cook this until the noodles are done. If I were to remake this, I would break the noodles even more. I would either break them into thirds or even quarters. But anyways, this was delicious. All of my family loved this soup. So for this one, we only needed to make 7 servings instead of the 8 that the pasta has. So you get to have like a little bit more than a serving of pasta per meal. If I were truly just making this for myself, then honestly, I would just be making a little bit at a time. That way I could make several different meals, and that way it wouldn't get boring per se. Like I said, you can make the carbonara or the take on a carbonara. Also, if you have like some peanut butter, maybe some brown sugar, soy sauce, anything like that, you can make like a take on a Thai peanut noodle. You could also, make a soup like I showed. I mean, anything you can think of, I bet it would be delicious. So if you were to get the Oreos, you could have 4 each day with an orange to go with them on 5 days and 2 oranges on 2 of the days. But you could really have the oranges anytime you wanted. Alright friends, I hope that y'all enjoyed this grocery challenge, and I hope that y'all have all been doing really well. And never forget, above all, Jesus loves y'all and I love y'all too. I hope that y'all have the most fantastic day, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye!